video here, right?
And we
Probably better.
are live.
Hey!
Welcome back to GunGamers podcast, episode 25. It's going to be the first one in a couple of weeks. Sorry about the time we took off, guys. But unfortunately, when you do like 25 of these things in a fucking row, you get kind of burnt out. But, yeah.
Well, and also, let's be honest, it's kind of hard to be excited to talk about Airsoft right now.
There's like, I've been to one Airsoft event since the Hee Haw, and it was literally just Sector 7. And even then, I was supposed to.
And that was like a great event. That was a really good time.
Oh, it was awesome.
Still,
I had a great time.
That's the one fix we've had since February.
Exactly.
I didn't even go to the Hee Haw. I feel bad.
Oh, yeah.
You missed a good Hee Haw.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a good Hee Haw.
Yeah. Anyway, GunGamers podcast, episode 25. Just us girls. Got myself, my co-hosts Kaylee, Eric, and Garrett. How are you guys doing?
Chill. Yeah, you know, the usual stuff. Just sitting at home, doing nothing, not playing Airsoft. So
I'm doing excellent. Some good news. One of my brothers got engaged recently. Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations.
Woo!
So we're kind of riding high on some good news at my family because we all really like her. So that'll be a fun time.
Awesome.
oh yeah.
I've been spending money like my wallet is ready to catch on fire.
I
This
feel
is like
that for sure.
This is like the one time I've had to like really sit back and say, I'm gonna do this project and just fully commit to it.
I'm spending money in the future that I don't have currently. I've kind of decided that when I get out of the army, I'm going to do several years contracting over in random dangerous countries to be able to afford dumb stuff like a fucking UAV that I'm going to use at events, a thermal camera for said UAV, just a payload that you would normally see on a Predator drone, except I'm going to be using it at MSW. A whole bunch of other really stupid shit.
Your RGB lighting whiskey cabinet, because I'm sure you're going to end up with one of those to match your fucking computer.
I'll have one of those. I'll buy a house down in Texas so I can shoot hogs on my property with suppressed 300 blackout while I'm drinking a beer on my porch. Stuff like that. But anyway, that's not really to be honest, it's going to be a shit.
It's somewhat relevant anyway. It's somewhat relevant to the main point, the main topic we're going to start with.
Yeah, main topic that we're going to kind of go with for this podcast is new and exciting technology that's making its way into the airsoft scene. That doesn't necessarily have to be cool stuff like ATAK and UAVs. It can be stuff inside of guns that's kind of becoming standard that wasn't necessarily standard a couple years ago. New technology when it comes to gear. New stuff, manufacturing new stuff that various personalities in the airsoft marketplace are releasing. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, no, I mean, there's so much cool stuff that's coming out nowadays that I'm actually really excited to get back on the field, if not only for ATAK.
Well,
dude,
the thing is,
it's so handy to have ATAK.
ATAK is baller. ATAK is ridiculous.
Even with like when we went to battle at the depot, nobody in here except for me went to it, but Ian was watching me from home as I was moving around on the field. Not that he was contributing and that knew where we had to go or what our mission was or guiding us or anything, but just being able to pull up a high refresh rate, a high fidelity GPS of your position. Like all of a sudden we got dropped off, we started walking, and the squad leader, actually it was our platoon leader, pulled out his map. He's like, okay, we got to go this way, I think, to get to this spot. So I walk up to him and I'm like, hey man, I've got ATAK, I've got GPS coordinates for our current position. Where do we need to go? We can set markers and we can figure out where we need to go. And the dude's like, okay, you're sticking close to me. And we ended up, unfortunately, walking around in a circle because we were looking for a building. We kept seeing buildings in the distance, but it turns out we weren't actually looking for a building. We were looking for a concrete slab. So we kept getting distracted by like looking at ATAK in the direction we were headed. We could see a building. We're like, okay, that's clearly that.
So that goes to show all the fanciest toys can't make up for just how fucking stupid Garrett is.
Navigation is very important, and you should pay attention in every land nav course you ever take in your entire life.
It's literally just measure the distance to where you have to go, know what your pace count is, get just a halfway decent azimuth, and go that way until you're on top of the point you're supposed to be on. Every fucking GPS, map, whatever you want, it can
Well,
end up failing you at some point. So
it also didn't
count and find an azimuth and stick to it.
It also didn't help too that when we finally got to the point, our platoon leader radioed back to say, "Hey, we're at the point," but he forgot what our point location was called.
Oh no!
Nice.
He's like, "We're at the place. We're at the place. We're this platoon. We're at the place." And I'm like, "Oh my god."
We're at the building with the tree that has the dirt.
Yeah, exactly. So
hold on, Garrett. Did you know what the location was? Why didn't you tell him? Why didn't you help a homie out?
Because I had the map, but I didn't have where each of the objective points were marked. Like they were marked on all our maps. So you didn't know what the
objective point was called?
Correct.
He was supposed to.
And I didn't get that because I wasn't at the squad leader meeting because I was not squad leader. And even then, this was our platoon leader. He didn't.
Why you write stuff down, man? That's why you got to have a pen and paper.
Yeah.
Some of the most advanced, important technology you can possibly have. Basic writing utensils.
Well, and I pretty much, and I think I mentioned this to Corey too. I said the next time, if one of us has ATAK, they're automatically at every single briefing so they can figure out where the map is, label all the stuff on the map correctly, and that way we can communicate effectively.
Yeah. Because
not having that piece of the puzzle essentially forced us to wander around. Because once we got there, we kept calling back to command. They were basically ignoring us because they had no idea where we really were. So we had to go.
Also, radios at the depot do not work well.
Yeah.
So
you don't even know technically if you were reaching them.
No, we were reaching them because we could hear them on the way back.
Yeah.
Like they were asking us for clarification on what the point was, but they couldn't say it over the radio in case somebody else found out.
Yeah.
Moles. Basically.
So for those
electronic warfare.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are wondering what the fuck ATAK is, ATAK is a situational awareness app that has been developed by the Department of Defense for usage by United States Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, SOCOM, stuff like that, but has recently found its way into the private sector. If you are an American and you have an Android device, you can go to takmaps.com, takmaps.com, and download the app. And it's super useful for situational awareness and figuring out where the fuck you are. As far as connecting to other people's devices, I can't really give you that information. That's kind of a GunGamers secret that I'm going to keep to ourselves to maintain tactical advantage.
Can we show it on the podcast?
I
have it on my phone here. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, but don't you have like people's houses marked and stuff?
I do have people's houses marked.
Yeah,
I can show just like a general area.
I was gonna say I moved to a different spot, so that's a town that's not nearby me.
Yes,
but that kind of shows you the overlay. And there's honestly, ATAK is borderline too much information. There's so much capability with that.
It can definitely be so much that you kind of get overwhelmed at the amount of information you're given.
There's a lot of tools on there that it takes a little while to kind of figure out what the heck what you're doing and what the purpose of all the tools are and all the overlays. So it has a little bit of a learning curve, but definitely a useful tool.
Oh, absolutely.
Plus, the thing that I like about it too is it has a chat feature built into it, much like the Blue Fox tracker at Desert Fox events. So either like if one-on-one users can interact with each other, or a squad can interact, or even the whole platoon, and even higher depending on what level you set everything up at. And that's the other thing too, is you got to put some time in to set it up how you want to. If you get a map early, put all the objective points on it while you have time to sit down and think through it. Because if you try to do it like at the event when you're trying to not get shot, oftentimes it's like, okay, the point's there, I'm gonna rename it really quick and enter.
One thing I will mention is that there's a lot of plugins, and when I say plugins, it's sort of like little external pieces of technology that can plug their way into ATAK that you can get if you are either a government civilian, government contractor, member of the United States military, and I think there's a couple other. If you have a government email, you can get access to that kind of stuff, and it'll give you the option to integrate UAVs like DJI drones directly into ATAK and have them use ATAK to control it and fly it around the AO doing ISR and whatnot. It's super, super useful for pretty much any application that you can think of, both on the airsoft side of things and actually in the private sector. It's being used a lot by law enforcement, used a lot by park rangers and firefighters, stuff like that. So if you want something that you can track your teammates with, I'd recommend going and getting that and figuring out how to set up a server yourself. I'm not going to give you that information because it is technically restricted. Just in case we have international viewers.
Honestly, I'm actually quite surprised after having ATAK, after having the Blue Fox tracker, how like the Blue Fox tracker is a really light version of what ATAK is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a similar experience, going to any of the Desert Fox events, like the Blue Fox tracker is a really nice introduction into understanding ATAK a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it can be absolutely overwhelming. There's so many tools.
Totally. When I first downloaded it, I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Like, it'll give you a 10-digit grid.
Oh, yeah.
It'll give you all kinds, like, heading and winds. Well, if you plug in the weather connectors, it'll tell you
It'll give you the Krabby Patty secret formula. It'll give you anything you could possibly
It'll give
want.
you your elevation data. It can give you... technically, if you have the right plugins, you can have flight paths of current aircraft going overhead. You can have wind currents. You can have literally every piece of weather-related data that exists to mankind right now. You can get that. It's fucking ridiculous how in-depth this app goes.
I mean, it's like a fully customizable map tool. Like anything that you can think of that's going to be related to maps or directions or whatever, you're going to be able to find it for ATAK and install it to make it like kind of your own little platform to do whatever kind of, I don't know, tactical movements that you're planning on doing. So
honestly, just even having that up-to-date information on tap, like, because I didn't have ATAK at Maelstrom, but you did, Ian.
Yes.
And you and Garrett and like a lot of other people running ATAK. So even just having that information on tap from a command standpoint, even if you don't have a phone, if someone near you does, you can know, hey, I sent this group out this way. How far out did they make it? Are they still moving? Are they where I sent them? Are they at the waypoint?
And like you can also put markers on the map, just like, hey, we have enemies spotted here. They're in this formation. This is what they're doing. This is the size of the element. You can give a full nine-line information update through it, and it's ridiculous. And if you're military and you have ATAK Mil, which is the really cool version of it, and you have a, I don't know, maybe a tag-in mortar that you and your team acquired, you can use the call for fire tools to set up fire missions for your mortar. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
I've also heard rumblings that there's a version for iPhone coming out in the near future. I can't give too many. I
hope there's a version for iPhone because that's my problem. Is I'm an iPhone scrub and I cannot get ATAK yet.
Oh yeah.
Is it gonna be like ITAC? Since I think the A stands for Android, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be ITAC.
Yeah, this is gonna be ITAC.
Lowercase I.
Oh yeah, lowercase I. That's one of the really cool things that's coming out, and this entire podcast could revolve around ATAK, but I'm not going to go too far into it. I'm going to keep talking.
Well, we don't want to give away any of our, like, at least leave something for them to learn for themselves. Otherwise, we're giving up our advantage.
Oh, exactly.
That's right. All of our trade secrets.
One thing I will say is that ATAK interfaces very, very well with external devices, whether that's a drone that you have, like a UAS. Now, don't get me wrong, you need a tool to get that, unless you're a member of the military or government contractor.
All right, quit flexing there, buddy.
Dude, it's a good time to flex as a cool person in this chat. But if you can get your hands on that plugin, you can connect your drone to it. It'll put its own HUD on the drone. It'll pick out, like, you know, let's say Eric is 350 meters that way and your drone's looking at him. It'll put a dot at where he is on the actual HUD of your drone. It's fucking Ghost Recon Future Soldier type shit, guys. I'm being 100% honest here.
The future is now, old man.
If you have exactly. If you have an E-Cody, the enhanced,
you'll have so many advantages over all the fucking boomers who won't bring their phone onto the field.
Oh yeah.
That's like me. I hate using the phone and everything. I hate being attached to technology, but it's like I don't have any choice now. I have to use it. So
how's it feel to be a boomer, Kaylee?
I have so many phone mounts now. It's not even funny.
It's really dumb what I've got at this point. Like the server that I have set up, I'm spending $35 a month to keep that running. But it's capable of having up to 500 people connected to it at one time. So you know I'm ready for Task Force Keg.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun with Keg.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
With Keg.
Especially once they roll out the ATAK and then everyone can get synced up to it, and then just, oh my god, putting out down waypoints, seeing everyone's position, everyone can be connected to everybody else and chatting. Honestly, and forming squads.
Just seeing where people's position is,
unbelievably useful.
Running
that is so helpful. Like even just that is so fucking helpful.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because we've done
it's nice having it on a separate server too, like where it's not being overwhelmed with everyone else who's like playing the game. Like you're able to track your own team and not have to worry about, server lagging.
Color code different elements within the force connected.
Yeah,
they can have their own little like you'll have your team leader has his own little icon, and then it's all little circles, but you might have TL on it, or it might be a crosshair if it's a DMR role or something like that. It's an unbelievably customizable piece of equipment, and
so it's really fucking cool, and we're really excited to keep playing with it.
Oh yeah, totally. It's one of the most exciting things that's come into Airsoft, at least in
but
my
as
life
Ian
recently.
said, we could go on about ATAK all podcast. It is really like a very deep subject. We'll probably do like an in-depth video on ATAK at some point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably. Once
it's something that deserves like at least a little bit more of an in-depth look than our normal low-effort podcast thing.
I will. Yeah, definitely. There has been a couple videos done on it recently. The most popular one that I've seen is it's a video by T-Rex Arms, and even though I don't exactly agree with everything T-Rex Arms stands for, I will say that Isaac Botkin did a pretty okay video on the actual functionality of ATAK. Only problem is he was using an extremely outdated version of it, and he wasn't exactly correct with all the information he had about it. However, if you want to go get a basic rundown on what the app is capable of, he does a decent video on it.
Just prompts us to do a betterly decent video on
exactly. We have to aim for better than decent, which will be a high benchmark for this channel, but...
All right. Other technology that's kind of up and coming, or maybe even is already here in Airsoft.
I'd say like from an Airsoft standpoint, like gear that is specifically made for Airsoft. So like stuff like Emerson and TMC and clone brands have been really upping their quality, honestly. Like you can call someone you might call someone a poor for having bought a TMC or an FMA piece of equipment, but I've got an FMA GP NVG battery pack on the back of my helmet right now, and it does the exact same thing as the $1,500 one that you need for the real thing.
That's what I have on mine. It's an FMA. It actually, if you peel it up and look at the switch on top of it, it says FMA and then the part number on it. Yeah. And it's mine runs off of AA batteries. Yours runs off of CR123s.
Yeah.
And I know mine's not exactly waterproof, but it's pretty close. It's water resistant, I'd call it.
Mine's gasketed to the point where I'd be very, very surprised if there was a significant leak.
Yeah, mine's not gasketed, but the flip covers on top are they're sitting over top of it, so that way.
No, Eric, you're good.
Is it my?
No, it's
Eric,
my.
Yeah, but is mine coming through?
A little bit, but that's just standard for you on the podcast at this point.
I could turn it off. I have a dehumidifier.
Garrett, you have the big dick Chad energy to make up for any issues you could possibly have by just bringing your presence on the podcast.
What was that?
Damn, bringing out the big guns.
Speaking of cool technology, Garrett's recently started his own project on an M240 Bravo that's kind of turning into something else.
Yeah, it's turning into a new submachine gun for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I was not familiar with the Mag 58/M240 hierarchy that's gone on in the U.S. military. We're now up to the lightweight version, the Lima.
Made of titanium.
The receiver is made out of titanium, along with a couple of other things. But of course, in Airsoft, nobody's really put together. Metal. Yeah, but nobody's really put together an accurate Lima version, and I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So I've got an extra barrel that I'm chopping. There's a lot of details, and I've actually kind of started piecing together like a video structure as to going over the intricate details that if you're going to try and clone a 240 Lima, what kinds of details you want to pay attention to, especially as far as chopping the barrel, because it's more than just chopping it back.
Oh, Alphonse is going to be watching that intently.
See, Alphonse can like shoulder the big ass 240 Bravo, the like meathead version of the Mag 58, but me as little guy cannot necessarily do that. So cutting the barrel down, switching some stuff out for some lighter weight stuff. Honestly, the big thing is the stock. Getting a Lima stock
is enormous, yeah. Well, getting the Lima stock is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and right now, I know of somebody that's working on a Lima stock for the Airsoft 240s. So it's not going to cost an arm and a leg like the real one is. But it's not out yet. I'm kind of impatient, so I got the 249 version, and I'm going to make an adapter to fit it onto the 240 Bravo.
Really using that degree there, buddy, for the best possible purposes.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And part of me's thought about, like, if I decide that this is something I want to continue doing, or I want to offer it as like a routine product, maybe if it's simple enough that I feel like I can just sell it as a complete kit or as a conversion kit, and somebody with a reasonable degree of mechanical aptitude can put it together. Like, if it's going to require, like, you got to put this here and hold it like this and drill this hole here. No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. No, you're going to start seeing fucking Schneider Systems 240 Limas coming out.
Schneider Systems. I really like that. That's a good one.
Yeah. I'd have to, well, and that's the other thing too, is right now I'm using somebody else's lathe to do the turning on the barrel to get it shorter. If I was to like offer it as a service,
you would have to get your own lathe.
I'd have to get my own lathe. It would just make it so much easier to be able to do it that way. And then I know, like, okay, this is set up for this. I know what all my tooling paths are. I know what my settings are. I can really dial it in and crank it out. And if it gets to be like overwhelming, I know a couple machine shop contacts that I could just start giving them routine stuff.
Oh yeah. Anyway, back to the whole technology side of things. After we got off on that tangent.
Sorry, tangent worth going off.
Oh yeah,
especially
exactly.
I mean, these podcasts are never structured. People know what to expect.
Yeah,
we're a disaster.
Oh, it's a fair point. No, I mean it's.
And one other thing before we continue on, I know people are asking about the BB test. It's coming. Yeah, I still have like probably a month worth of work to do before I can even start filming to putting together the video, because I got more samples. I have to measure all them. I have to do all that stuff. So it's coming.
All right.
I think I announced it in like April or something like that. That it'd be good by like the summertime. And if I didn't collect more samples like I had, I probably would have had it done or in the middle of editing it right now, but I'm not. I have so many.
I'm in the middle of editing a video that I'm still debating if it should ever go live.
Is it the one that you and I did?
No. No, that one I think we pretty much lost. But I don't know. I'll have to look. But there's another video that I do with Matt and Jim.
Oh no! Is that the one that we've already seen?
That is going to be a secret. That one is really bad. Like, that one's really degenerate.
Eric, that needs to go live. That's so fucking good.
That's going to be a secret video on this other video that I'm editing. We did a video called The Great Airsoft Debate.
Oh, Jesus.
And
I forgot about that.
You need to hide a QR code in one frame of the fucking
to get access to it.
Yeah.
So that video, The Great Airsoft Debate, I had. Part of why I almost don't want to make this live is because the buzzer system we used is like a gross violation of firearm safety, but it's with a toy gun. So like, does it count?
No.
We put an empty Elite Force Glock 17 in the middle of the table, and the first person to grab it, cock it, and dry fire it was the one who got to answer the question, which just led to them fighting over this gun so that they could answer the question. And part of me is like, this is fucking hilarious if you like know the context of we obviously made sure this was unloaded and it's not a real gun, but it's also like a grossly bad example of firearm safety. Yeah. So I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know if we can use this.
Oh, shout out to Evike's tech department. They just they're in the chat and they say they approve of my shirt. Hey guys, how's it going? 1 second, I gotta close the door. Yeah, thanks to Mike Ochoa for sending me this this beautiful shirt. It's very comfortable. But anyway, there's a lot of other really cool technology coming out. I know when I was mentioning those like Airsoft quality fucking replicas of like, you know, Cry shit and AVSs and SPCs and whatever.
Look at Condor is like doing laser cut molly now.
Yeah, dude, it's actually getting a lot better than it was back in like I don't know, 2016 when I started playing with the
I always said
Condor
that Condor
XO.
was pretty good, man.
I wouldn't call it pretty good. I would call it like Afghan National Army quality, but to be 100% honest, it's getting better.
I like the Condor Cyclone. I've had it for a while, and it never broke apart or anything bad, so I don't know.
Is it one of the few like plate carrier systems that actually fits a female body?
Yes.
That's one thing. That's one thing that a lot of companies need to start taking into account. That
female curved body armor just started coming out, didn't it?
Yeah, they're I don't remember who's doing it, but it might be RMA or Hesco or one of those companies.
I think it's RMA.
Yeah, they're releasing a female cut plate. It's cut for boobs. It's cut for having tits, but it's a hard level 4 ceramic plate that's cut for having boobs, and
I think it's got like a little bit of a rounded top portion, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I was just going to ask, what kind of changes would they have to make other than clearance for
boobs?
Yeah, just clearance, because I mean, most of the time, even when I put on a plate carrier, and I don't even have like big boobs or anything, like it's constrictive and it gets painful, like after a while, uncomfortable. So
that's one of the main things that we ran into when I was overseas in Iraq, because I deployed with a lot of women who were deploying for the first time, and they got issued their ESAPs, and they're like, these fucking suck. We need something. We need a better option, and replace this goddamn IOTV. It's awful. shout out to the IOTV, the mainstay of Task Force CAG.
The thing that I like,
got the SPCS.
Yeah, exactly.
You big fancy flexer, I see.
Yeah,
the thing that I like about gear right now is a lot of stuff is going into like carbon fiber laminate or some type of composite laminate.
Yeah.
Like all the Axle Advanced stuff that I have has that composite-y type stuff on it, and it adds rigidity without adding a lot of weight, so you don't necessarily have to have a good solid like foam plate or something in a carrier to provide good structure and, more importantly, weight distribution. Like that's one of the reasons why when I did the Z-Shot AVS, like I thought it was worth the buy, just because the harness system for that, because it adds rigidity and it distributes the load across your shoulders and across your waist so well.
Well, that AVS style of harness, I think, is a piece of like gear innovation. I don't know if it is technology technically, but not like advanced technology. But I think that type of innovation of that harness system is going to be more industry standard as time goes on.
You're actually starting to see it more and more. I know that there are a couple of Russian companies that, I mean, they just completely ripped off the CPC, the Cry Cage, but the Cage had it, the AVS has it, the SPC has it to an extent. It's not really the same, but it has that sort of rigid load-bearing type system. And the new FCPC from Faro Concepts, the version 5, has a similar system to that, where they use sort of like carbon fiber on the harness.
The SPC from Cry has a laminate material built into the cummerbund, so it's kind of a halfway between a JPC and an AVS.
In the same way that the FCPC is as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're going to start to see those harness systems, and I've made my opinion very clear that I think that the AVS and the CPC are the two best load-bearing plate carriers ever created, and I still really love the CPC, even though it's a fucking 10-year-old plate carrier. I really hope you start seeing that stuff more often. And I've had like
people hold on to those, and I see them pop up occasionally for sale, but a lot of people...
No, we're talking about other manufacturers using systems like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, but talking about the CPC, people love that shit. And it's kind of one of those secrets of the...
a lot of people, if they say, I want to carry a lot of stuff, what's the best plate carrier for me to use? And people say the CPC or the AVS.
Yeah.
And the CPC pops up more so than the AVS, at least as far as I can see. Well, the AVS, I love it. I absolutely love the AVS. If I could get one in Tropic, I would get one in Tropic.
You need to be one of those Z-Shot exclusive members where they drop stuff in random weird colors,
Yeah, they have the JPCs in Tropic that are available for the average consumer to buy, but not the AVS.
I think that the whole multicam family of colors has kind of, I don't want to say disappointed, but it's not as widespread as Cry had really wanted. Because, I think the initial idea was going to be like, oh, if you'll have soldiers deploying to South America as part of Southcom, they'll be getting Tropic, and people up north in Alaska will be getting multicam Alpine and shit of that, variety. But it's kind of not been as successful outside of like regular multicam and multicam black.
I think a lot of that is due to the fact that multicam OG is good enough in those environments that they can issue one uniform and they like if someone transfers from one sector to another, they don't have to here's trade in all my stuff, gotta get this.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing and gear all can be the same color. The fucking issue of bivy gear can be the same color. Like there's no downside to using all multicam from a logistical standpoint. So I think the expensive logistics of using all those different patterns widely is the biggest reason why you don't really see anything other than regular multicam out in the wild too often.
Yeah, that's
except special units can do whatever snowflake bullshit they want, use multicam black, for example, or law enforcement was really the target market for multicam black from what I understand.
Yeah,
SWAT
it's
units, things like
it's
that.
more. It presents a different appearance compared to a straight color.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's a disruptive pattern still, a bit, but not as much, obviously.
They literally say it's meant to be an aggressive-looking camouflage, so it's that's marketed towards law enforcement special units.
Tropic is underrated, if you ask me.
Or FBI. I feel like FBI would be another good use for multicam black.
Yeah, but Tropic is underrated.
I wish there was a multicam pattern that kind of had the gray color scheme of
random guy Kev is in the stream and he says I'm trying to rub barbecue sauce on Eric's beard, and I will say random guy Kev, that is just fine with me as long as that barbecue sauce is on one of those delicious fucking meals you tease my Instagram with all the goddamn time.
Dude, I had to unfollow him because I was just hungry all the time when I saw his posts.
I've had to stop looking at his Instagram simply because I'm on keto and everything he posts has carbs in it, and I'm fucking hungry all the time.
Carbs are good for you, man.
Dude,
don't be a carbophobe.
Carbs are good for me, just not good for my waistline. I got fucking fat. If you look at the first video I did on the channel, the fucking Desolation review, to the most recent podcast, you'd be like, God damn, Ian got fat.
Too much boneless, man.
Yeah, look at that
Always
same period of time for me, and you'll be like, oh, fuck, Eric let himself
Jesus,
go.
Eric, yeah.
Working on it.
Exactly.
20 pounds down since the start of quarantine.
Dude, I am 11 pounds down since I started my whole weight loss thing, and I'm happy with where I'm at. But anyway, back to the
I just have an empty wallet. That's the only thing that I've lost during quarantine.
Oh, Jesus, Garrett.
I lost my life savings in 240s.
Wallet has gotten significantly lighter.
Yeah.
Well, my wallet has gotten lighter. All my guns have gotten heavier.
Exactly.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Oh, yeah. Heavy with Gucci gear, dog. Come on.
I mean, you don't spend... Oh, I gotta pick this up again. You don't spend $1,300.
Garrett, I'm gonna write you an M240 workout plan.
You know what? I would actually appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna write you a workout plan for how to be jacked enough to carry an M240 and prescribe you 300 grams of protein a day.
That would honestly, that'd be kind of awesome because when we first started into it,
thank you,
all
Snoopy.
the gyms closed.
Holy shit!
Oh, Snoopy's in here too.
Yeah, he said piss in my mouth, Eric.
Where did he say that at?
In YouTube chat. In Ep Tactics, that's Snoopy, isn't it?
I don't see it on the YouTube chat.
It's just Snoopy.
Oh, okay.
I don't even see him on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
I've got him.
Oh, maybe I hit live chat.
Yeah.
There we go. Piss in my mouth, Eric. Snoopy, I will.
Wow.
Anytime. Just come on up here, buddy.
Well, so back to the monetized part of the podcast. Anyway, as far as new technology goes in the airsoft scene, like we've said, whole bunch of new cool shit coming out on the material standpoint when it comes to actual gear and shit. By the way, TMC just released an SPC, and I'm super excited to see how that handles. Listen,
yes, I want one.
Kaylee, I
know
know
buying
TMC,
cool tubes and rocking them with TMC gear.
Dude, I've got FMA gear on my fucking car's worth of a helmet right now, so I'm not spending another $1,800 on something that does the exact same fucking thing, just with an ATAK logo on it.
I'm getting to the point.
Knocks off too much stuff, so it just infuriates me.
I mean, there are very few brands that do that kind of shit rather well. I know Samapo is one of them. Flash Force Industries, they did the Tiger Stripe, like, cry cut stuff. That was pretty decent. But TMC and Emerson have always kind of been that standard. Like, I don't want to spend a lot of money, so I'm just going to buy TMC or Emerson. But I will say that Emerson has actually gotten better with their Blue Label line of shit, because it's actually made with, like, not garbage materials that are sourced from some random sweatshop in China.
Honestly, though, the thing is, TMC and Emerson, some of their stuff is a good deal, but like a lot of it isn't even that good a deal.
No, it's
when
not.
you look at things that are U.S. made that aren't necessarily like the hype brands. If you look at USA made gear outside of Cry and LBT and Eagle,
Spiritus.
Yeah, like you can find really good USA made gear from other brands for pretty good prices.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of, like, there's so many people who are just on the Spiritus hype train right now, and they're like, if you don't have an LV119, then go jump off a bridge, because you don't have shit. But
meanwhile, I'm like, okay, but fucking Head-On Tactics makes something that, while not a Spiritus copy, is so close in function, I'd rather give him $80 than Spiritus $240.
Yeah, that
Raptor
Tactical,
small gear
Faro
makers.
Concepts, Engage Tactical with their Janus plate carrier. There's so many options outside of like the big name brands that you'd actually be blown away. MOS Tactical, they're doing a very, very cool Desert Tiger Stripe plate carrier for me right now.
Raptor Tactical makes a slick plate carrier that is so close to a fucking Faro Concept Slickster, but is nearly the same price and has a Molly back panel and some other features the Slickster lacks. If you look outside of those big brands you always hear about, you can find really good shit, A, easily available, and B, for a pretty competitive price.
Wow.
That's always the problem with like all these competitive businesses, is like people usually just go for the brand and they don't really look for, you know, anything else that could be out there that's just as good and has even better, maybe, you know, same or better pricing. So I don't know. Probably has a lot to do with the community too, and everyone just being like, oh, you have to get this, you have to get that.
Snoopy, I saw your comment. I'm not going to read it out loud. Just know that I'm disappointed.
I'm not disappointed, Snoopy. I'm very interested in that trade. I'm going to DM you, hit you up on the Instagram, maybe send some money to your OnlyFans, and then you and I can talk about arranging that in private.
God, that is so fucking gross.
I like Dan's idea. I think bathwater needs to be one of the GunGamers.
I did just build a PC, so now I can sell my bathwater.
Yeah, absolutely, Eric. I want to see your enormous cleavage showing gamer girl Twitch streams.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
Where, Eric? Do you still have that photo?
Oh hell yes, I have that photo.
That is by far one of my favorite photos I've taken of you.
Why is it that when you say, do you still have that photo, like 15 different possible options for that photo just crossed my mind? So for our viewers,
so much debauchery.
If I forget what the name of the video is, but it's set to I think it was an Infinite Annihilator song that Eric.
The most accurate GunGamers montage.
If you go frame by frame on those photos, you will be fucking blown away by the terrible shit that we do around one another. It is not good. There are so many hilarious photos in there. There's so many debaucherous photos in there, and there's so many awesome pictures of Jim and Jim alone, who's the best member of this team, by the way. That it is worth watching for the minute and 48 seconds or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, that is probably some of my funniest work on this channel, honestly. Like, Tactical Wizard be damned. That accurate montage is so perfect.
Oh, absolutely. I think we should skip over the rest of the TMC and Emerson talk before Kaylee's head literally explodes on stream.
Ugh, disgusting.
Well, I'm with Kaylee, though. Like, when you said support small gear makers, when I mentioned Head-On Tactical, but like I'm with that, because one of our best friends, a patch-wearing member of the team, Engage Tactical, he's a small gear maker, and like I genuinely believe that people within our community who are tailoring gear to our community, I'm a capitalist on the one hand, where it's like, yeah, buy the best product at the best price. But I'm also kind of like that douche on the other hand, where I'm like, well, fuck yeah, I'm going to buy from a guy I know and like who plays the same game as me, even if it's more money.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that also just makes me cringe about TMC as well is they just knock off so many of Brain's products. Like, I just can't like ever think about supporting any of their businesses or any of their products. And like, I mean, Brain even pointed out recently that like they completely knocked off his like ear protectors and then stole his stencil that goes like with his mesh mask, and they sell it all like as a big package for like $14, which completely undercuts the price that he was selling at. And now he can't really make any money off of that because you can get it for significantly cheaper from TMC. So I don't know. It's just stuff like that just puts such a bad taste in my mouth, and it makes me think like, you know what? Like, I rather support the people that are trying to invest back into our community instead of, some huge business that all they care about is making money and, screwing over the people that we're trying to support, like, our fellow airsofters. So
I mean, we can always go back to the whole like Valken Odin thing where they were going to release a copy of the Odin speed loader that was just a pile of shit. And don't get me wrong, I like to be friendly with most manufacturers when it comes to airsoft, but I will gladly go to Valken's front door, poo in my hand, and throw it at their front door. I do not like Valken shit, and I don't own any Valken shit. I used to use Valken BBs, but guess what? Turns out those are fucking garbage as well. Isn't that right, Garrett?
Horrible.
Yes. I was just about to say, the BB tests so far, the Valken BBs that I have, they're bad. They are all over the place.
I mean, there's a reason
horrible.
There's a reason that Valken has a bunch of drama like surrounding their BBs, and they had to like change manufacturers, and people like called them out for all this nonsense. And I mean, I have some inside information about that. I don't really want to go into, but I mean, it's a freaking scam, dude. The whole Valken BB thing is such a freaking scam. It's insane.
Yeah.
So
don't buy Valken products. Fuck you, Valken.
Don't. Yeah, and
that's
the
an
Odin
official
thing
opinion
was
of the GunGamers channel.
Yeah. Odin thing was just so nefarious too.
I don't know. I have a little bit of a less harsh opinion than that if we're turning this into the Valken discussion. My slightly less harsh opinion is Valken is a company I really hate that employs several people I really like.
Some of you are okay, the people who work for Valken, but Valken as a company, fuck you. End of discussion.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been very friendly with Kaiju, and I don't have any.
Honestly, like we're naming names, I fucking love
that
Kaiju.
Company bad.
Like, I really, really love Kaiju, and I feel really bad that I hate the company he works for.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy, and I always had a good time like working with him and hanging out with him and going like to airsoft events and running booths with him and everything. But just, I don't know, man, Valken. It was after the Odin thing, I just felt so gross, like being sponsored by them. I was just like, oh man, like this, just the fact that they kind of swooped in and scooped up like this product when they knew that they were kind of lagging on this patent paperwork
for their
product.
They did it either. Like they did the same thing with the Fusion engine, undercut it by like $150 and just made it fucking garbage. But hey, it was a $275 HPA engine. When are you going to see that? Cut to fucking Polar Star releasing the most hype fucking HPA engine in the business. Shout out to the Kythera. Please, for the love of God, ship them already.
Right? That's what I'm waiting on.
Exactly. But buy Polar Star products. They make good stuff. Buy stuff from Odin Innovations. They make great shit. And, yeah, let's go back to the actual topic at hand.
No more bashing Valken. Back to just talking about new products.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Titan Power has been doing some good stuff lately.
Well, hold on. That's an unpopular opinion because I hear that Titan Power makes absolutely the worst batteries because they don't have a high enough discharge rate, which is actually true. Titan batteries don't power my PKM, which is a really amperage heavy build. It's a fucking, it's a high speed motor with high torque gears.
Right.
Or no, opposite. High torque motor.
This is the Titan battery I have. Actually, Eric, I need to get this back to you because I've completely forgotten to get this back to you.
I actually really like Titan batteries. Even the fact that they don't power highly upgraded builds.
Even the 11.1.
I like them for everyday easy batteries.
Yeah, the 11.1, Eric, you were saying it wouldn't really power your, but then again, you've got a pretty heavy spring in there. You've got a pretty heavy
the thing's cranking 1.86 joules. You know, high speed gears, high torque motor. It's a monster.
It is a monster.
Of course, my 240 stock, and with a Titan 7.4, it's getting a pretty good rate of fire. And right now it's at 1.5 joules. I am going to take it up to 1.8.
Senpai in the chat actually brings up a good point. The new Titan batteries have higher C rates. I have not fucked around with the new Titan batteries yet. I have some of the older ones, so I do have to check out the new ones.
Okay, that probably.
How do you know which one's a new one and which one's the old one?
The new ones have 16C discharge rates. The old ones have 10C, and all of these are marked. Like, they're all marked. So
okay. I'll have to look and see then, because I remember one of them was struggling with my GMP.
Yeah.
But then I
forgot they upped their discharge rate. So yeah, their new discharge rate may work. I just have to buy some to figure that out. I have no relationship with Titan Power, so like I buy their batteries because I actually really like using them in most of my guns.
Yeah, they're really high capacity for the size that they are. It's like, holy shit.
That's what I like about them. Capacity.
Yeah, I mean the one that I have in my tech box is I think a 2600 mAh. Like, it's freaking insane, dude.
Yeah, I use them as buffer tube batteries. What other buffer tube batteries can get their 2600 mAh? And the new ones are also 3000 mAh base. So that's the thing. Where are you getting a 3000 milliamp hour buffer tube battery other than Titan Power?
That's the size of like a fucking like the brick batteries that you throw into the stock of a fucking full length M16. It's
and 3000 mAh with a 16C discharge rate is a higher total amperage discharge rate, which may bring it further into the ability to keep up with upgraded guns.
Oh yeah.
They must have changed what the cells were then.
They might be going to graphene instead of lithium ion. I don't know.
No, it's not that.
It's lithium ion, but I think they use the latest like Samsung cells, I want to say, and I think Samsung updated their cells, which let them update their batteries.
Well, then that's probably what it is. Then I'm gonna go. Let me go grab my Titan.
6,000 milliamp hour fucking Crane battery. That is mind blowing, dude.
Yes,
holy shit. That's a full MSW.
When Z-Shot first partnered with them to do the 5400 milliamp hour, we thought that was insane, and then I looked, and now they have like a 6 or 7.
They have a 7,000 milliamp hour battery.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's crazy. I'm gonna go get my Titans real quick to see if I can find the label.
All right,
that's getting to the point where like you can just run that in an LMG for an entire event and not have to worry about changing batteries. That is outrageous. Don't get me wrong; these are rather pricey, but they fill the role of like 3 batteries.
What I like about them though is that they're a lot more durable theoretically than a lot of lipos.
That's the thing. I had this battery in my Mark 18 and it actually discharged it completely to where my smart charger would no longer like charge it because they're like, oh, it's a dangerous point. But like technically with lithium-ion batteries, the dangerous point is way lower than lipos.
So were you able to charge it?
Oh yeah, no, I was able to save it, and it's fully charged right now, and it'll run my Mark 18 no problem.
Nice.
Yeah, so I don't have to PayPal you whatever the cost of this battery is. That was what I was really worried about, but it turns out I saved myself some money. Oh yeah. No, go get yourself some Titan Power batteries. They're good stuff.
And we have no relationship with Titan Power.
No relationship whatsoever.
Full price for all of our Titan Power batteries.
Exactly.
We've had really good luck with them. Again, in
I have a little bit of relationship
capacities in general.
Yeah. If we're hawking anything today that we probably don't have a relationship with them.
Well, there's one thing that we have a very clear conflict of interest on, which I don't think anyone gives a shit because everyone loves this guy. Like Brain Exploder. We have a very clear conflict of interest with Brain Exploder in that he's a friend.
I played Grand Theft Auto with him 3 days ago. Dude's a fucking awesome dude, but he makes phenomenal products.
Yeah, so I have no fucking problem having a bias toward being nice to Brain Exploder because anyone who will drink with me is someone worth having a bias toward.
Oh, absolutely. and we like during the whole Jet and Leah podcast and Josh Warren podcast, we brought it up. Like, Mark is the godfather of all modern airsoft gameplay footage. He's the reason that shit exists.
Papa Mark.
Yeah,
that's what we call him.
There you go. There's a lot of new cool technology coming around for guns as well. If you watch the channel,
this is interesting.
What's that?
So, all my 7.4s are the same, although I have some that the serial number is different. It has obviously the serial number is different, but they all have the same prefix, and then the last letter is different. But so I got 2 different 11.1s here. I have a 2600 and a 3000 milliamp hour one. And
Garrett, that's a brand new AEG's worth of fucking Titan Power batteries you're holding right now.
Well, it's just the 211
Oh,
ones.
okay. I thought it was like 4 or 5 of them. Never mind.
No, I have
like
3
nunchuck or whatever.
7.4s. These 7.4s I bought like 2 years ago, or whenever Titan Power first came up. So the one is 28.9 watt hour. I think you can see that.
Okay.
And then this other one is 33.3.
Yeah, they update those cells like every time they get a chance.
Yeah.
Okay. So that probably explains why so much of these are different. And on the 7.4s, I actually bought these 7.4s all at the same time. And these are even different.
Oh shit, okay.
Well, they're all 19.2 watt hour packs, but the serial numbers are different. Like two of them are.
So they actually list the cell types on the batteries.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's actually I actually kind of like that about Titan Power and about some other companies too. So, like there's some parts makers that like straight up will list the OEM of like their parts that they're selling on their fucking packaging. And I actually really like that because a lot of people in the airsoft market know like you're not making every aspect of this.
Oh, no.
So tell us where those parts are coming from so we can judge their quality based on what we know.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of companies are doing that. Like Maple Armory is very open about where he gets all his parts. Evic lists the OEM for like most everything on their EMG line. And then Titan Power has their cell specs and their cell manufacturer like out in the open. Nope, they
literally
tell you
on the packaging.
on the packaging.
Well, and that's part of the marketing value. It's like, hey, we use these high quality parts and these high quality products to make our product. That's one of the things that'll drive you to Titan Power. Maple Armories, if you watch channel, you've probably seen the video that I put out on it. Fucking love that thing. But they're very out in the open with the high quality parts that they put into those guns. So that's one of the main, and that's one thing that I've kind of noticed coming out in the airsoft industry is that you'll have smaller manufacturers outsourcing high quality parts from other manufacturers to build an awesome fucking gun.
Well, and that's been like a theory in the airsoft industry for a while. Like I think it was Clandestine Airsoft back in the day actually used to have like kind of their own line of M4s, but they were just importing Lonix M4s, and they were convincing Lonix from the factory to put their like high-end A1 or A2 motor in it. So there's always been this thing in airsoft where not everyone's gonna, make their stuff, but like you compare it to how Echo One was back in the day. Echo One would deny that anything was rebrand. They'd be like, oh, we make our own stuff, yada yada, and you would use the word rebrand around Echo One, and people from Echo One or Echo One fanboys would poo-poo it. Whereas now it's like, oh yeah, we source it from this OEM and we're proud of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's like with Crytek and EMG working together a lot now. EMG is able to bring branding to Crytek, like for the Rec 7 from Barrett.
Barrett, yeah.
Yeah, which Corey just ordered.
Yeah. So review will be coming on that.
Yeah, well, it's going to be less of a review because we've reviewed Crytek on the channel before. It's going to be less of a review almost and more of a how does Crytek stack up in 2020 video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially against stuff like the new generations of like Maple Armory stuff because god damn it, I fucking love that gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, gun technology too has been being upped by that because now you've got companies sourcing Gate Titans and Jeftron Leviathans,
Gate Asters, stuff like that,
at the factory.
Straight from the factory. Yeah.
Yeah, Specna is coming with Aster Mosfets in it now, aren't they? Or are they coming with other?
Yeah,
it's Spectre. It's like their Edge series or their Core, one of the random series that they do. And then you even have companies like SEMA coming out, and they've got their Platinum Edge or whatever the heck series, where it's like it has an inline MOSFET built in. It's a lot of DieTAC parts in it, and I know this because Corey's buddy. Oh God, I'm gonna blank out. DJ, why am I blanking out? But yeah. DJ, he was at Maelstrom with us, and he had a SEMA gun, and I have a DieTAC gun, but they have the exact same branding on the actual receiver itself, and it's got a lot of high quality internal parts. So you've got a bunch of different companies out in Hong Kong all sourcing high quality parts from the same manufacturers and actually stepping up their game so they can be competitive with something like Crytek, with people like VFC, with a newcomer like Maple Armories. So this is kind of moving into one of those whole golden ages of airsoft where there's going to be a lot of really, really good guns
well,
coming out on the market.
now guns are being flat hopped to the factory, like the fucking Maple Armory. Like,
yeah.
You're seeing new systems that the aftermarket's been playing with for like 10 years. You're starting to see those systems work their way finally into being standard from the factory. Because, like, you know, if you wanted a Mosfet and an Airsoft gun back in 2009, you had to build your own fucking Mosfet or buy one from some sketchy guy on eBay who may or may not know what the hell he's doing.
Exactly.
There's so many options now with Airsoft. It's almost overwhelming. You almost don't know what you want to get because there's so many different choices to pick from.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where the whole reviews on YouTube thing comes into play.
Yep.
No, it's super exciting to see all the new stuff coming out on the market, and I mean, like, if only because it directly benefits the player in having a higher quality item at their disposal. It's exciting.
Well, and I really like the fact that companies keep one-upping each other in terms of technology and quality, because that means that everyone else has to start looking to up their game, and that means guns get better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm waiting for that to start moving into the LMG market, because I'm tired of having to have Nate tear apart my fucking A&K M60 because it came with garbage parts from the fucking factory in 2007 when it was made. So finally you might be able to start seeing MGs with half-decent parts in them.
The tech department at EVIC says the Gate Titan is our MOSFET of choice at EVIC. The Gate Titan is also my MOSFET of choice. I have Gate Titans in 2 of my guns. I really like them.
I think you'd find it hard-pressed for somebody not to recommend a Gate Titan at this point.
Unless they like the Jeftron Leviathan for possible alternative reasons.
Yes.
Like not needing a firmware update to access all of the fucking features.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The Titan is expensive, but boy, oh boy, is it a fucking awesome MOSFET.
It completely changes the performance of the gun. Like,
absolutely.
I have it in my MP5. I have it in my AK, and after I installed it in my AK, which was the first time I installed a Gate Titan, I was just like, I need to have a Gate Titan in every single gun from this point on, because now I'm just spoiled of the amazing performance you can get out of having a MOSFET, like a Titan inside of your gun. It just completely changes the whole functionality and everything.
I have a Gate Warfet in my GMP, which I need to finish rebuilding, but the couple of shots that I test fired that with, it's a world of difference over standard trigger contacts.
Oh yeah.
Even the Gate Warfet is really good. And what I think is total bullshit is that back in 2009, 2010, if you wanted an electronic trigger control board, you were basically buying a PTW, or maybe I think around 2011, 2012, the ASCU came out from Airsoft Systems, and if it ever worked, it was great, but it barely ever worked. And then there was the
Spectre.
I remember those
Chimera,
things.
if you could get one.
Yeah, and then you had the Spectre Fet, where it was like, hey, this is cool, but now they're making so many of them that you're not even positive it'll work out of the box, and then you'll have to fucking send it back. And then finally, the second coming happened, and the Gate Titan was released on the market, and it kind of opened a brand new door into shit.
Is the
guns?
Yeah, now everyone's trying to compete with the Titan.
Is the Spectre BTC still a thing?
It comes out in really limited drops, and people still try to fucking scalp them.
The Spectre
so
was still a thing, and
changed.
was still getting scalped really heavily back. I think it was when I first bought my recoil shock back in 2018. There weren't really any MOSFETs out for it outside of one random one from Japan, the BTC Spectre for it, and then some random Italian company came out with one that I still have sitting in my dresser right now. But the Spectre Fet was a huge thing in the recoil shock market, and then Gate released a Titan for the recoil shocks, and everyone was like, all right, well, fuck the Spectre, we're going to the Titan. Because I'm not buying a MOSFET for $300.
Yeah, the fact that people tried to scalp the Chimeras was pretty fucking hilarious. I mean, I get it. Things are worth what people are willing to pay for them, but you're kind of a fucking dick if you're buying something you have no intention of using that's super limited just so you can sell it for more than the retailer was selling it for.
Oh, you mean everybody on the Cry Precision Owners group who bought, multiple pairs of the fucking Tiger Stripe Cry G3s and are now selling them for $600?
Or even the people that bought the M81 Faro Concept Slingsters that are now selling those for $150.
Here, you know what? Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's easy to sit here and shit on those guys, but those guys wouldn't exist if people weren't fucking stupid enough to pay it.
That's true. Exactly.
I don't buy any of that shit. That's actually a big part of why I got out of the custom knife hobby, because that's all the custom knife hobby was a bunch of people buying directly from makers and then immediately flipping them. So I couldn't even get on the fucking books for any of the makers I wanted to get, and I couldn't get any of their knives without paying double table price. Dude, it's the same thing with all that stuff. It's what made me fucking stop.
And that's in everything. Like if you're a sneaker fan, and we probably don't have a lot of overlap with sneaker fans on our channel, but if you're a sneaker fan and you wanted to buy a pair of Yeezys back in, I don't know, 2016, 2017, you would have bots buying 700 pairs of them and then just selling them for like $1,500. And you're like, why the fuck would I buy it now? I want a nice comfy pair of sneakers, and instead I'm gonna have to pay $1,500 for Kanye's dumbass shoes. But anyway. Beyond that, if you want to possibly avoid all the scalping, especially in the tactical gear industry, you can go to a custom option like Engage Tactical or Head On Tactical and have them make you something fucking cool.
Yeah, I've actually done business with both Engage and Head On, and I got to say, both are fantastic to work with.
Oh, yeah, and if you want something...
my Space Gun Sling, that was just a dumb idea that I had in my head. I had a multicam Alpine sling made up.
Yeah.
Just because I have the ARX 160, and I was like, that's a space gun. I could use the sling for it. That's like spacey. Multicam Alpine's kind of that pattern. It's not straight white, but it's got a little bit of a breakup to it. And Engage was like, hey man, like I think I can get that pattern. I make a sling and it's going to cost you like this much. What other features do you want on it? I was like, oh, cool. So laid it out a little bit, and he sent it to me, and it's a super comfy sling.
Are you going to have Nate paint your ARX 160 multicam Alpine now?
No, I'm going to have him paint it just straight white.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Damn, that's Stormtrooper style.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, it's I'm going to call it OSA white. Any fans of Call of Duty Ghosts out there know the OSA is, I think it's Orbital Security Administration.
Nope, no idea.
I have no idea. I don't fucking follow Call of Duty for the story or at all.
That was that was 2013 that game came out.
Yeah,
but they had white Beretta ARX 160s in that game, so that's what I want to do to that gun.
Yeah, man. I at this point, like, I'm just looking to do some really dumb shit with Engage. I want to buy a bunch of those IKEA bags and have him make a Janus plate carrier out of IKEA bags.
Head On Tactical did that, I think. Yeah.
Listen,
he did.
That.
He doesn't make Janus plate carriers out of IKEA bags, so I'm gonna get one done by.
But he's already a pro at IKEA bags, so I don't know.
Man. At the end of the day, I'm fairly certain that anybody who gets their hands on it will be like, hell, it's a fucking easy material to work with, so let's give it a shot.
Really want to have Engage and Head On the same fucking podcast, because I feel like getting those two together would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to get him on. I hit him up and I was like, yo, Andrew, come on. Like, you got to get on the podcast with us. He's like, oh, no, I'm really camera shy. And I was like, well,
come on. We're all
degenerative
idiots.
Him until
all of us want him to come on. Like genuinely, I really want this podcast to happen, because listening to those two nerd out about making nylon would be like my fucking dream.
Oh yeah.
I want to see a collaborative effort, like just Head On Tactical with Engage Tactical.
Oh,
like,
that'd be sick too.
Oh my god, dude! Like Engage plate carrier with the fucking Head On Tactical pouches and stuff would just be like, the ultimate.
Well, Corey already owns a Head On Tactical like panel. So if we could put that on Engage plate carrier, the universe might explode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But everyone should just start messaging Head On Tactical until he caves. So.
Yeah, if you're in the chat right now, if you're watching afterwards, down in the comments section, go ahead and bully Head On Tactical into coming onto the podcast.
Yeah, go on to his Instagram. Tell him that you want to
use our platform this way. This is so irresponsible.
I'm absolutely using this platform.
Cyberbullying someone into coming onto our podcast. Actually, wait, we're cyber. Okay, never mind. We're cyberbullying. It's okay.
I've actually noticed a lot of gear collaborations lately. Like groups are willing to share designs with companies that have the higher output capacity.
Oh yeah.
Just to get unique stuff out there. like Bergspitz and Axel worked together to make zipper tops for the Spiritus Microfight.
Well, the guy who owns Bergspitz already works for Eagle Industries. Like that's
that's also that was before I think that was before he worked for Eagle though.
He's worked there for a long time, Garrett.
Has he?
Yeah.
I thought that was only
worked there
like
for a few years.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was in like the last year or two.
No, we're talking like 2016, 2017. I remember the Facebook post he made when he went to work there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, he makes some really, really cool shit. There's so many, like, smaller gear manufacturers that are making some awesome, awesome shit that isn't necessarily in the mainstream. Guys like Bergspitz, guys like Head On, guys like Engage, MOS Tactical, I'm gonna plug them again. Their fucking Spav W plate carrier is so cool. Can't wait to get mine in Desert Tiger Stripe. By the way, they carry Desert Tiger Stripe.
The slings that I use, but his slings are really good too.
Is that the guy who did him in flannel?
Yeah. The flannel.
God, I know. Who
I have to look this up so I can give him a plug here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Grave Solutions. He basically just does like tons of different kinds of slings in different patterns, and sometimes they're like limited runs. Other times he just has like just regular camo patterns that he carries all the time. But he did do that whole line of flannel slings, and holy crap, those things are super comfortable. Plus they're like adjustable, like the Slingster or the what is it, the Vicus or whatever, the Blue Force.
Yeah, the Blue Force gear.
Vickers
yeah, VCAS. Vickers
and they're
Combat
foldable.
Adjustable Sling.
So you can like put them on your gun, fold them, and then they have a little like bungee.
I really want a Frank Proctor Way of the Gunsling. If you've seen that, that's a really interesting sling. It's got two long piece loops of paracord on either end, so you don't need to use any kind of fancy sling mount. You can literally wrap that like around your Picatinny handguard, or even any handguard or anywhere else you can go, wrap it around your stock, and with no mounting hardware, you have this super lightweight adjustable sling. I really want it.
Who was the company when we were at the Hee Haw? The not your birthday Hee Haw, but the first.
Oh,
one.
the McLean Core.
Yeah, McLean Core. They make an awesome sling as
well.
Yeah,
that's a really cool 1-point sling. That
that was the one that
I still need to do a review of that. I just haven't been able to like go anywhere to film the review, and I don't want to film it in my apartment.
Yeah.
Apartments are lame.
Well, I don't want to film a sling review where I like want to be standing and demonstrating the gun. Like, I hate doing that in an apartment. It looks like every low-rent 3-per video you've ever seen. I like at least doing it in an airsoft field so I can look that much more like legit. Maybe not legit, but like
I'm trying to figure out the best way to like frame the 240 video when I finally get around to doing it. And I think the doing it down here in the basement where I don't have a ton of space with a gun that is basically as tall as me. I'm pretty much just gonna have to do it out in the backyard.
Oh yeah. CPS way. Are you talking about condition gray, Kaylee?
Which one?
The slings that you were talking about?
No, it's Grave Solutions.
Grave Solutions.
You know what? I saw
on
those.
Instagram. It's like Grave Solutions, and he's got a couple of things up right now. Actually,
Eric, I'll go get what he's talking about.
I think he has Desert Tiger and regular Tiger back up
wait,
right
hold
now.
on. Desert Tiger sling?
I don't know if you can see that.
Grave Solutions?
$55 right now.
I'm buying that now. I am buying that on the fucking podcast.
So,
yep, Desert Tiger, it's a pre-order right now, 4 to 6 weeks, but it's there, dude. I'm gonna get the regular Tiger, I think.
GunGamers is a sick little project we're doing right now where we did a group order for some garments recently, and unlike most people who decide to wear pants, we decided to get some Tiger Stripe UDT shorts. The lighting is terrible, so let me turn this light on. But oh boy, these are Eric's.
There you go.
They're fucking amazing.
They're like roadie shorts, but in the most glorious camouflage pattern ever.
Yeah, they also come in Desert Tiger Stripe if you're a tiny person, but yeah, they come in Tiger Stripe, they come in Desert Tiger Stripe, they come in UDT tan, and they don't come in white supremacist fucking roadie boo. So we're doing good over here.
Hey, Rhodesian camo's really effective. You can't even find Rhodesia on a map.
By the way, CPS way, I sent your patches your way. They should be arriving in the next couple of days. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick second to plug my own shit. I've got a limited quantity of the alcoholic patches remaining. It's like 15, give or take. So if you want them, DM me on Instagram or Facebook. It's going to be Ian GunGamers on Instagram, and I can send some your way. They're $12 a patch, shipped to your door.
I am buying this Desert Tiger Stripe sling as we speak.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy this regular Tiger Stripe right now.
CPS waits grave solutions, as in where you get put in the ground, grave, and then solutions,
GRAVE period solutions.
Yeah.
So go check him out. He's got just kind of patterns are just, it's rolling all the time. He's just got different stuff. But I think right now, I'll tell you what he has. He's got M81. He's got Desert Night Camo. He's got DCU.
Ooh, Desert Night Camo.
He's got the Choco Chip, and then he has the Desert Tiger and the Jungle Tiger. I think some of them are pre-order, some of them are in stock, and then I think he has some just regular standard colors as well, like gray and.
What I'd love to see is a dual-sided Desert Tiger and DCU like the original Ponchos.
No, I'd like to see a sling that's in the chocolate chip with a Desert Night.
Oh yeah, Desert
Night.
That would be as terrible of an actual camouflage as Desert Night camo is. It's really fucking cool.
Well, it's not terrible for the purpose it was originally developed for, which is to be harder to see through Gen 2 night vision.
But through Gen 3, it kind of glows really, really badly.
Yes, but they were building it for the technology of the time.
Yeah.
He also has an Alpine pre-order happening right now, so if you guys like Alpine...
Let me go get my Alpine sling.
I will say one thing.
I love how much we have just shilled products this podcast.
And that for pretty much everybody that we're talking about, we don't have any actual affiliation with them in terms of sponsorship or monetary things.
No, it's literally if I hear the words Desert Tiger Stripe sling, I just want it and I have to buy it immediately, and I'm gonna plug it. So
yeah, I mean, as far as Tiger Stripe,
I own 4 Grave Solutions slings, and I have no affiliation with him. I just was hit him up. I was like, yo, dog, I just want basically everything that you have. Please send it to me. So I think I have M81.
Here's the AirX 160 with the fake loopholed stuff.
Devo,
but this is the Engage multicam Alpine sling.
Oh, that's sexy, dude.
It's got a little padding in it, which I really, really like too.
Yeah.
And the pad is adjustable for position.
Oh god, that's bringing me back to the days when I lost the sling for my 240 when we were out in the field. So I had to make one out of paracord, and it left permanent. Oh, it was terrible.
That's permanent damage right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gotta adjust this a little bit, but
yeah.
All right, sling ordered, boys and girls.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. So 4 to 6 weeks from now, I'm gonna be flexing super hard.
Eric, hopefully by that point I'll have my Desert Tiger Stripe plate carrier to flex alongside you, man.
Dude, hopefully I've got my next secret project.
Speaking of Desert Tiger Stripe stuff, I'm gonna shill for MOS Tactical because they make great stuff, but they've got Desert Tiger Stripe stuff in stock right now, and Vietnam Tiger Stripe as well, I believe. And they've got some really, really cool concept shit coming out that keep your eyes peeled for, because it's gonna be fucking sick. But yeah, Tiger Stripe, flavor of the month, except it should be flavor forever. Greatest camouflage I've created.
Mike Ochoa, I saw that, and I know what you meant. Spending less than $40 on a sling is stupid unless you're buying an LBX sling, because those are $30, and those are actually pretty good because they're basically just Viking Tactics copies.
It's basically a Viking Tactics sling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you spend hundreds of dollars on your gun and you're not willing to secure it with a sling that costs more than $7.50 from Airsoft GI or something like that, you're gonna have that sling.
It's like buying a $500 handgun and putting in a $25 holster.
Yeah. Yes, very much that.
Yeah.
Air Max 1976.
You don't want to be that. You don't want to be the guy at the field who's sitting there and then the gun just breaks off the sling and falls on the ground and.
Or your
smashed.
Gun breaks off your sling and falls down a flight of stairs, like what happened to Kyle.
Well, yeah, I put it in one video very well with my I was talking about the Viking Tactics sling. I'm like, yeah, for a lot of airsofters, $55-$60 for a sling is expensive, but at the same time, if you're not willing to protect your investment with a really good sling, then you are risking losing that investment, because that is an investment, a $400 or $500 gun you might have, and plus any shit that you have on it.
Sorry, completely unrelated, but I was just thinking about Kyle dropping his gun down the stairs, and that reminds me.
Oh yeah, that was fucking hilarious.
Garrett falling into a fucking elevator shaft.
That was Joe.
Or no,
that
Joe falling into an elevator
shaft.
I'm gonna dude. Oh, I'm gonna lose my shit if I keep thinking about that. I gotta get that off my mind.
God, that was Red Storm in 2015.
Yeah,
dude, that
was
before.
before I joined
that was
the team.
before us even.
Yeah, but
this is before we even knew you.
Yeah.
But just the way that
was the game we met.
Well, was that?
Yeah, it was that Red Storm was the game we met, dude. Well, we had met before, especially that time when I was super fucking fat and like you didn't recognize me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I honestly don't remember you when you came into the shop the one day.
Yeah. Just Fiasco 189 asks why Viking Tactics over Vickers, and just really quick, I'm gonna answer this. The reason I like Viking Tactics over Vickers isn't because the Vickers sling is in any way bad. It's an amazing sling, but I like the feature the Viking Tactics has where it's got that tail that you can pull off of the sling itself and cinch down as tight as you want. Yeah. It gives you a wider range that you can run the sling, and it's a total personal preference thing. You could argue whether or not you even need that wide of a range, but I like having that option. That's literally it. I'm sorry, Garrett, continue.
No, I was just gonna say, as far as like when we met, I thought we first met at Hunter's Creek.
Yeah, that was when we first met.
When I brought the hammer,
played together was at Red Storm.
Yes.
Garrett, do you still have that hammer?
I sold the base scar. I still have the barrel conversion.
Okay. God,
actually,
you're
a
fucking nerd with some ridiculous shit in your arsenal, and I love it.
The only thing I have left from the hammer is actually the ACOG that I have on the 240 was originally on the hammer.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And I kept the outer barrel because I took a VFC 417 20-inch barrel conversion kit because it's a 10-inch barrel extension without any tapers or cuts or anything in it, and I cut 2 inches off of it and then rethreaded it to make it 8 inches so I could put it on the 10-inch scar to make it an 18-inch hammer barrel.
Just a ridiculously huge weapon.
It was super crazy unbalanced.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's very well, and of course I put a PEC 2 on top of it from G&P, so it weighed just about the same as the real hammer, which is the reason why the Marine Corps didn't adopt it, is because it's like, fuck, this is 12 pounds.
Yeah, it's a heavy bitch.
Which even the M27 itself is still pretty heavy, but it's not 12 pounds heavy.
I mean, with everything on it, actually, it's like 14 pounds, including the ACOG or the short dot that you throw on it, the foregrip, the fucking mags.
The SDO, the Squad Day Optic.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Because
it's one of the random military fucking...
It's a 5X or a 6X ACOG, but not like the machine gun optic that the 240 ACOG is.
Okay. Anyway, tangent.
Why I know that? Good grief.
More cool technology. You guys are excited about anything that's coming
out? I'm excited about those new face masks that Brain Exploder is doing that we might have our hands on soon, because those look pretty fucking neat.
Yeah, one of us might just have their hands on it right now, like literally sitting next to them right now. Do any of us have them?
We can talk about that right now if you guys want to. So Brain Exploder is going he's going to be coming out with a mask system that he's going to be, I guess, sort of mass producing. I don't want to say anything yet because it's still very much in a beta project, but I do have versions 1 and 2 right now, and he's making some version 2s for you guys that are going to be sent over, so you guys can all test them on different faces. But here they are. This is version 1. This was the first one he came out with. You can see it's a pretty low profile design. It very much just kind of fits onto your face. Doesn't really obstruct your mouth.
Say hello, Clarice.
Yeah. Hello, Clarice.
I was going to say, I see we brought Bane onto the podcast.
Hannibal Lecter, moron.
No, dude, I much prefer Bane.
But, so pretty much it's he 3D printed the design. He scanned his face put his face into like a 3D design program, and then basically created and molded this mask based off of his face shape. So originally it was just a product for himself because he wanted to just make a mask for himself that gave him the cheek weld that he wanted, that was really lightweight, that could just be added to a goggle system, that was already out there, and wasn't going to be this big bulky thing that you typically see in Airsoft. Like mesh masks are pretty bulky no matter what you really do, unless you go the extra mile, cut them up and mod them. Even the like one type Tigris mask, the female shaped one, the smaller one, is still pretty bulky. It's got those padded sides that still don't really get you the cheek weld that you would really want, like out of an Airsoft lower. So that was the original idea, and he had it for about a year until I started kind of harassing him and being like, yo man, like when am I gonna get to have one of those? Like I want sick lower face mask like that. So that was this design, and basically it's a rubber mask. You can see it's like pretty flexible.
So how's that made? Is that 3D printed or?
Well, he 3D printed the mold based off of his face, and then the product itself is not 3D printed material. It's just the mold, and then he poured like a polyurethane.
So he's doing
rubber,
a cold cast. Okay.
Yeah, into the mold and created this thing, which is like a rubbery kind of flexible material, and you can just see the print lines in it because the print lines are on the mold, so that's why you can see them on the rubber. But this part itself is like I think 3D prints like a thick piece of plastic, and then he sinks that into the mold while he's pouring it, and so you have a harder plastic in the middle with a much more flexible plastic, or much more flexible rubber around that. So he's tested it a bunch of times. I've taken it to the field. Doesn't break. I mean, like, he abused the hell out of it, and works really well. The people had some concerns when he released this one that they didn't really like the look, or that the nose area is very exposed, even though when you put it on, like, it's not like your nose hangs out. Like, my nose is right here, so I guess if I did look up, you could shoot technically a BB like straight into my nose hole or something. I don't know, but that's why
you're supposed to snort cocaine, though.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, like, come on.
So that's why I came up with version 2.
For legal reasons, that is a joke.
Yes, for legal reasons, that's a joke.
Has the much smaller kind of nose hole area where you're still getting like the ventilation. You can still breathe through it very easily, but it's got a little bit more protection. It's got a little bit less like human look to it. I think this one kind of looks more like a face. This
reminds
one
kind
of looks
Dr.
more
Doom mask
robotic.
Almost a little bit.
Yeah,
I
like
feel like that's an upgrade because Dr. Doom is fucking great.
Dude, Dr. Doom, like, if we're going to take a quick second to talk about Dr. Doom after we're done with this review, but keep going.
But yeah, then the other thing that he kind of fixed was, so when he was thinking about making this like a mass-produced product, originally this mask was just held on with zip ties. You can see there's like little holes that he drilled out on either side. So this was just zip tied into the mask. Yeah. But now, let me grab these. Since he was thinking about having it available for everybody, he created these little dumbbells. Basically, they're just little rubber dumbbells that he created like with a mold. There's 2 sizes. These are the longer ones. I use the shorter ones from a mask because I have a smaller face and I wanted it to be closer. But basically, you can see that they fit inside.
Okay.
God, that's
into
so
the
fucking
vent
cool.
holes.
That's clever.
And then they countersink. It's kind of hard to see, but they're countersinked into the side here very well. Sort of, I can get the shine there.
Against your fucking face.
Mad props.
So
Thinking of
they're
everything.
very
What
smooth.
kind of Dexter's Laboratory type operation is he running?
And now you can literally just he can just sell the mask plus the little dumbbells, and you can just pop it into your mask. It took me about maybe 30 seconds to pop this thing on, and then now you have a lower mask that has very little interference with your cheek
and
weld.
that's really only tooth and nose protection. Like that's the downside. That
right.
It's not like covering your cheeks. That's only tooth and nose protection. But for some people, that's what they want. Like I kind of. I've honestly wanted to get like a steel insert for my fucking balaclava because like I don't want to have a face mask that covers all my fucking cheeks and stuff. I don't even play with face protection if I can avoid it.
But One Tigress, they make a balaclava version of their mask. My problem with it is it's a fucking balaclava. It gets really, really hot. And
also, the balaclava version of their mask, the mesh section, they sent me one. The mesh section is way too fucking big.
Yeah.
So it rides on your face terribly.
Oh, that's gotta be way uncomfortable.
It is.
Yeah, and that's on my face. I have like an XXL size, big old fucking face and noggin. So if it's too big for me, it's too big for you.
Oh, absolutely. Like I've got a large ACH sized head, and it's far too large for me. So I think that I'm super excited to get brains in to throw on my ESS turbo fans or something like that, and just mess around with that. I'm very.
I've gotten away from wearing masks. Like I'll keep like one of the lower or the One Tigress lower face things with the padding on the sides. I'll keep it around my neck because if I feel like I'm going to be going into a building or I'm going to get involved where I'm going to be close quarters with somebody, I can put it up and then I know I have the protection right there. But most of the time I just leave it dangling around my neck.
But yeah, with something like that where I can look like Dr. Doom, who got his PhD from his own fucking college. Dude, what a gangster. I love Dr. Doom. But if you can wear something like that and not have a huge amount of interference when it comes to breathing or when it comes to actual, like getting a cheek weld or just a whole bunch of shit touching your face and getting you all hot, I will gladly take that over, One Tigress's options. Because when One Tigress's first came out, they were awesome. But now you have something that surpasses it.
Yeah, now you have something that's even more low profile and it's not really interfering with my communication at all. Yeah. Like you could have your headset right here, you can be talking to people, it's totally fine. And the reason I think he's going to be sticking with both versions for the reason that this one's, even though they basically have the same profile, it's kind of hard to see, but they're not like this one's not much bulkier than this one, but from Brain's experience, this one's a little bit easier if you want to run it with a face mask, like whatever, like a spandex mask or whatever, balaclava, over
you could run it underneath that.
Yeah,
okay.
You can totally just pull it up, over the mask, and he's run it like that plenty of times. But I know when he tried it with this one, it was a little bit awkward looking and a little bit bulky, so that's why he kind of wants to stick with a couple different designs. So whatever people want to do, they can do that. But I know he's going to be probably designing this one so it can have this same attachment system as this one. But I freaking love this thing so much. Honestly, I haven't run this one yet. I've just been trying it on, and to me it feels a lot more comfortable and more roomy than this one. But I played with this one, I think 2 times now, and I really, really, really enjoyed it a lot. And felt like I was almost wearing nothing. And he's tested it point blank with his Novrich 500 FPS sniper, and it didn't break, it didn't budge. There were some
you're not gonna break most rubber.
There was some denting that happened with the plastic itself, after multiple point blank hits with a 500 FPS sniper. But honestly, when you're playing a game, how often are you getting hit in the face point blank with a 500 FPS sniper?
Not to mention the fact that
dude,
when it comes
regularly, every time I play, duh.
If you're running something
I'm just that bad at Airsoft.
I would treat a product like that as something that's kind of like a need, but also as a consumable item. If it gets shot out, I'm just going to buy another one, because it's way cheaper than getting your teeth blown out. A fucking mask.
How much are they?
He doesn't have any kind of price point right now. Obviously,
he's still doing R&D on some of them. He just
gave this, he's just given me these ones, and we exchange in other means. He gives me masks, I buy him sushi, or give him, sweet barrel out of my gun. So, we kind of,
how GunGamers does trades, except ours is always the currency of liquor.
It's always alcohol.
Any and all ad revenue that comes from this podcast goes directly towards high-grade whiskey that I end up getting in my liquor cabinet. It's great.
Got to make that proofing somehow.
Oh, it's so good, dude. Holy shit.
But yeah, it's still like early beta stage, and I know we've been talking back and forth about like expanding the mask to have cheek protection and ear protection, in much further down the lines for maybe kids in fields that won't allow a lower face mask that doesn't have full face coverage, because I know that's
fair.
That is an issue in California at some fields. Like you have to have full face protection, and who the hell wants to run around with a freaking paintball mask or like a dye or something where it's like big pain in the ass and it's hot. So
I mean, the dye's a good mask.
Yeah,
it's just
it's a great mask.
Like it's hard
really
to get a cheek hot. And it's hard to get a cheek weld on stuff like that too.
I mean, the dye works great for me because my face is so fucking big that it's like it doesn't even get in that way that much for me.
Eric, the only person that I've ever met in my entire life that could make a PKM look like a short AK.
Eric, you're the kind of person who could wear an Iron Man helmet and still get a cheek weld.
Yeah, that's true. He's pretty much as close to what I'm used to.
Yeah, exactly.
I just bend the stock to accommodate my face.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't want the chat to like get me wrong. Like, I love my i4 dye. Like, I've used my freaking dye mask for the longest time, and it was the only mask I ever used, and I preferred it over basically everything. But
the dye has some problems though. It doesn't work with helmets.
Doesn't work with helmets. Every time I'm trying to go down sights on guns, it's just like I feel like I'm out to here, and I'm trying to like bend the gun to reach my eye, or I have to put.
You gotta do that
on.
Metal Gear Solid 5 thing where they short stock it, they put it over their shoulder with the M60s.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
That was what a lot of times when I was shooting my AK, it was looking like this because I was trying to get to my head.
Okay, hold on. Samuel B in the chat says, "Not true. You have to modify the helmet to make the dye work." All I'm gonna say is,
I've done that.
I am not about to modify my ballistic ACH or my Team Wendy to accommodate a dye mask. Those are night vision platforms that I use, and both of them are pretty expensive.
Dude,
I'm not trying
to fucking
cut
work
either of
helmet.
those up to accommodate
I'm not taking a Dremel to my fucking work tool in order to put a dye mask on it. Thank you.
But,
don't get me wrong. The dye mask. I will say it again and again.
Helmet, absolutely, like totally do it. But if I paid like $200 to $300 for a helmet, I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, we're not saying the dye mask is a bad product. Dye i4s and i5s are fucking awesome. But we are saying that they do have limitations.
Drilling the mount for an ACH for the night vision bracket was a pain in the ass. And that's just that's a 5/32 hole. I can imagine trying to cut.
And Ho Ching Yung wear a cap. Then I do wear a cap while I wear my dye mask. But the problem is I can't exactly wear a cap when I want to wear my night vision.
Yeah.
Unless I use a skull crusher, in which case the dye doesn't have the right clearance for that really either.
Eric, you're not doing it right. Clearly, you need to go full Captain Price and just somehow attach a rhino mount to your fucking boonie cap.
Is it sad I thought about developing
go ahead, Garrett.
The night vision boonie?
If someone made a night vision boonie, I wouldn't wear a helmet anymore.
I feel like I could probably do something like that.
You might just take a Cry nightcap and sew a boonie over top of it.
Well, the nightcap has a piece on the inside of it that the shroud attaches to, and then there's a pad on it. That
if you could somehow put rigid, I don't know, like that rigid composite material you were talking about that adds rigidity.
I didn't think about that.
Oh no, now we're fucking cooking with gas. But put something like that on a boonie cap.
New technology coming to Airsoft 2020.
Exactly.
The fucking night vision boonie cap.
Exactly.
Modern Warfare 2019.
It's under our new brand, Sergey's Best Effort.
Sergey's
Best Effort. Each one comes with a bottle of really cheap vodka.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I may have to go register that name, Sergey's Best Effort.
Oh, absolutely. Register it right now. Someone's gonna steal it.
SBE.
But one last thing about the freaking helmet setup, because I have done that. I took I think my parents a couple of years ago bought me some cheap helmet from Evic, and I saw someone do, a dye helmet modification on YouTube. And I was like, oh, I can do that. That's easy, So I took the helmet, I tore out the front padding that was, up front so I could fit the dye mask under there. And yeah, like you can do that. It works. Like you can have the helmet
Is
and
that
the
all
dye
it is,
mask.
though? Taking out the front padding?
Yeah,
I thought you were
pretty
doing more
much.
to it.
Oh, okay.
No, it's you.
It probably
pretty much have to
depends
take
on
out
the
front
helmet.
padding. Yeah, there's some stuff. Sometimes you have to modify the suspension system a little bit so you can fit the ear, protectors like underneath the helmet.
Okay, I actually thought there was more to it than that. I thought you actually had to cut. Because I saw one video where the dude like cut the helmet up.
No, it literally took me I think 5 to 10 minutes to do the modification, and then it was done. But I think that kind of setup probably only works for a specific type of person in a specific type of locale, because in California, where most of the time you have 90 degree heat, wearing a freaking helmet and a dye mask is basically like just shooting yourself in the foot and giving yourself a bad time, and that's just going to be horrible. It's going to be hot. You're just going to be dripping sweat, and it's not an ideal loadout for someone like me. So something like this, where I can just throw this on and, put a head sock on or something with just some ear pro, absolutely superior.
So the problem I see with that solution, though, taking out the front padding, if you have a Team Wendy liner in your helmet, which I do on both my ACH and my Xfil LTP, that lining, you would have to cut up to over your forehead to remove that without cutting through the lining.
Yeah.
So the Team Wendy liner is basically not compatible with that modification.
Not to mention the fact that you're going to be removing some of the actual, blunt force trauma protection you get from your helmet. And if you're an absolute Neanderthal like me when you go to games, and instead of moving around branches, you just run straight through them. You want blunt force protection, because I'm a fucking moron. So I'm gonna avoid doing that for now.
Yeah.
Unless we get a night vision compatible boonie, in which case I'm gonna stop running a helmet.
I'll talk to N-Gage and see if we can't come up with something.
That would be amazing. Oh my god.
Do a N-Gage Brain Exploder collab.
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, there's so many people we need to I have a bracket in my head of all the collaborations I want to see between all the people I know.
Yeah. I mean, Brain has said it in the podcast fucking comments before that you can 3D print a solution to any of your problems, including a broken marriage. So
and 3D printing is one of those technologies that really has exploded in Airsoft over the last couple of years.
Bringing it full circle, Eric. Thank you.
It's kind of insane, because we were just reading an interview that he did with I don't want to butcher the guy's name, but he was a French airsofter that has a kind of a blog page, and he quoted Brain saying that back in 2017 he was like, I hope one day 3D printers are just as common as ink printers in people's homes. And I really think we're getting to that point where 3D printing has become pretty much a norm in Airsoft and in a lot of industries.
Oh yeah, if you look at the modifications made to so many different guns, most modifications,
or carbine kits that are being printed, 3D printed.
I have a whole gun that's made out of 3D printed parts, a whole freaking high kappa that's all 3D printed parts. It's pretty much insane. So,
I mean, SRU is halfway there, really.
Yeah.
A lot of their stuff is 3D printed.
Or there's Primary Airsoft 3D prints all those adapters for different guns.
Oh yeah, the tap.
Their adapter that I have, I need to do a review on that. That thing was awesome. I have the WM4 adapter.
There's a company that does a super sick modification, or like a bunch of super sick modifications for Scorpion Evos. I can't remember the name, but it's all 3D printed stuff, and I need to get one of those because it'd be great with a bank robber kit. But anyway, tangent over. Yeah, 3D printing is going to be it really is kind of the future for airsoft modifications for guns.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, 3D printers are, as Mike is pointing out, you can get a 3D printer on Amazon right now for $200.
Oh yeah, and one of the first modifications that I did on one of my guns was I had an Ares amoeba, the honey badger or whatever. There's multiple different extensions and different parts that you can get to make that a more capable gun. A bigger battery compartment, able to actually stabilize the barrel.
And CPS brings up a good point too. 3D printing is still a little behind some other places. Nerf has incredible 3D printing support. There's whole companies in Nerf based around making 3D printed parts that are big companies, which Nerf is a bigger market than Airsoft. Sorry to break it to everyone. But I think
absolutely.
but I think that's gonna trickle down toward airsoft as it just starts getting more and more common. I think part of the thing is a lot of airsofters are older guys. Like there's a lot of, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. You know those guys who go to like red state rock festivals headlined by Avenged Sevenfold?
Yes.
A lot of those people are like the type of people that make up airsoft. And how many of those people like do 3D printing stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Not a lot.
If you're the type of guy who is willing to open carry a Springfield XD and a Serpa holster, you're probably not the type of guy who's going to be 3D printing stuff.
Which is just a reality of like, you know, the airsoft market's gun adjacency. But I think that, you know, more people who are getting into airsoft on the highly technological level, more the nerds who are also a very large majority of airsoft, like you're going to have a lot more of those people like bringing more and more of that innovation to the field.
I think I'm excited to see that innovation start to come to the gear marketplace as well. I mean, obviously you see it with smaller manufacturers like with like NGH Tactical, Head On Tactical. We've already talked about this, but I think that you're going to start to see a lot more like custom fabrication of materials starting to come around. And I'm unbelievably excited for it. If I can get a full Cordura set of that penis flage stuff, I'm absolutely going to be rocking it at events.
The dick camo?
Yeah, dick camo. Absolutely. Looks like awesome.
Who shot first dick camo?
Yeah, 100%.
You just got to hit him up and be like, yo, we need more things in dick camo.
I need 500 yards of 500D Cordura right now.
So I'm also going to spit another hot take in response to them in the chat. CPS Sway says, Nerf and airsoft greater than furries. Furries are more mainstream than airsoft.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. That's accurate.
I would say that furries
it's an unfortunate fact, but it is definitely a fact. You ask two people which one they are more likely to have heard of, airsoft or furries, most of them are probably going to have heard of furries over airsoft.
Absolutely.
There's conventions for furries. I have yet to see a convention for airsoft.
Yeah, Airsoft Con is not even comparable to a real furry con, and people like create whole careers on making fursuits. So that's all I gotta say about that.
I'm just saying,
anyway,
if you're an artist and you're trying to make some money, there's a big
that's a Josh Warren original, by the way. I got to cite my source on that. Josh was making fun of people at a Milsim West game, his own customers, as Josh is wont to do. But he was like, yeah, just remind y'all, don't take yourself too seriously out of this BB war because furries are more mainstream than you.
Wow.
It's very true, man. Very true.
Yeah, man.
And also to address someone in the chat who said about the print lines on the mask, Mark did pour some acetone onto his last mold, so these will be coming out smoother for the next batch of testers. So you guys might be getting the smooth version of the mask.
Someone brought up the UK as an airsoft festival. I think that we need to make a UK trip a very, very like.
I want to make
a future.
I want to make a UK trip like as soon as I can because there's like a bunch of people in the UK that like I want to hang out with, and also I want to spend like 3 days playing airsoft and then like a week touring distilleries in Scotland.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The only way to live, man.
Eric's gonna show up to one of the many aisles in Scotland with just a tear rolling down his cheek as he approaches the distillery. But I mean, my first exposure to airsoft was Scout the Doggy's dope fucking videos at the fort in Scotland. And if you think that I go to the UK like, and I'm not hitting up,
this is a GunGamers thing. I got to go to Scotland to go to sector whatever the fort.
Yeah,
go play with Scout the Doggy, and then like 2 hours into the game, be like, all right, got a distillery tour in 15 minutes. I'll see you guys later.
Your ad revenue paid for this.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
For like the flight there.
Oh my god, dude! Man.
Maybe for the takeoff part of the flight to get there.
Flights are expensive. If you want to see us in the UK, start donating. No, I'm just fucking with you. But seriously, if we can make a trip to the UK at like a possibility at some point in the near future, I would love to go.
I want to go to one of those one of the big events that Taggin partners with, where it's like 3,000 people.
Oh, out in Russia?
I also want an excuse to just ride around in a BMP, too.
Yes.
I have no idea if my career path would allow me to do an event hosted by the Russian military. I don't think that would go so well.
Probably not.
No.
Well,
that would definitely cost you your security clearance.
I really like my job. I ain't going.
So Ho Ching Young says, shouldn't you guys go to Taiwan and Japan then? And I actually do want to go to Taiwan and Japan too. But you know, Scotland has distilleries, although Japan has distilleries too.
Ooh, we can go to the Nika distillery, Eric.
Oh my God, if we could get a tour of Nika and Centauri. Ooh, okay. You know what? We got to throw Japan a little higher on that list.
I could use an excuse to go see the 1-to-1 Gundam that they just finished building.
65, like the 65-meter one that's just enormous.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, that's what, it's. I think it's
well, Eric or Garrett, with
like
the way 2020 is going,
meters.
they need something to fight Godzilla.
So we are actually coming up a 9:45 here, and ASAP goes live at 10, don't they?
I don't know. Maybe, sure.
I think they go live at 10 tonight, so we should probably try to wrap up. Because I don't want to step on their toes, and I want to send all of our guys over to watch them.
Yeah, exactly. If you're watching here, once we log off, go over to the ASAP podcast and tell them GunGamers sent you.
They're on their Facebook page, another serious Airsoft podcast.
They do great stuff. They've got some hilarious podcasts. Plus,
yeah, I fucking love those guys. They're really good dudes.
Next week, we're going to have Derek from Mo Guns. He's one of the hosts of ASAP on the podcast, and it should be a good time because he has some really sick products on his website.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
But I am going to be out of town, unfortunately, so I won't be on that one.
Oh, that sucks. Well, don't worry. I've got an entire group of 35 people to choose from when it comes to co-hosts.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like we have this massive fucking team or something.
Oh, yeah. This massive fucking drinking team. But yeah, I mean, at this point, we should probably take a couple of questions real quick.
I'll take some questions and wrap up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyone has questions about the mask or other nonsense we've been talking about?
Dude, any questions? Let's hit it.
Or people just want to see the 240 again. I mean, I'll oblige.
Dude, just hold the 240 the whole fucking time. It'll be your arm workout. This is workout 1 of E-House's M240 workout program. Do some overhead presses with the 240.
But
Senpai
Senpai asks,
what events? Yeah.
what
I need
events
I need Orbit Culture playing in the background.
Oh, hell yeah.
I got no events because Corona. I'm not freaking going anywhere probably for the rest of the year.
Coming up August 21st, the weekend of August 21st.
Yeah, it's August 21st to the 23rd is Desolation 3.
Desolation 3 by Omega Productions. We're going to be going and having a fucking awesome time. Thomas Hoffman asks, next Women of Airsoft podcast. Biggest problem we have with that is making sure everybody's schedule's lined up.
Yeah, we want to get Polish Airsoft Girl. That's pretty much who's going to be the next guest if we do Women of Airsoft podcast. So it's probably going to be
you, Leah,
me,
and
Leah, Becca, yeah, and I don't know who else wants to join us, but you know, Magda will be our guest. So we've been trying to set it up. I know Leah's been kind of, you know, doing this and that and going camping, and then she's back, and then she's hanging out with her family and stuff. So once things kind of settle down a little bit, we'll try to get that back going again, and hopefully we can have another sick Women of Airsoft podcast. Keep it going.
Fiasco 189 asks, where'd you get the Tiger Stripe button up? That is a Tactical Distributors exclusive. They make some awesome stuff.
Ooh,
I have their Tiger Stripe pants, not the Cry ones, but the I don't know what the actual name is, but they're Tiger Stripe pants with a vented crotch that's laser cut, so it vents swamp ass real good.
And they have the the Tiger Stripe, the
Altamas,
Altamas.
Yeah, Tiger Stripe Altamas, which are awesome. Eric can't get any because he's got fat ass feet, but I have some and they're awesome.
They don't make them in wides, and it makes me so fucking mad.
Yep. What products are you most hype about for 2020? Maple Armories is. I don't know if I can really talk about this, but they've got some really cool products in the pipeline that have the same.
Just reach a fucking NDA. It's no big deal.
There's no NDA. I didn't sign an NDA.
They've got an AK. Not legally.
They've got an AK coming out in December or September, some frame. But it's gonna be a Maple Armories AK with the same internals as the Vanguard. Generate some hype for them. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I love my Vanguard, and I'm sure I'll love the AK. Is the ASAP podcast on YouTube or Facebook? It's going to be on Facebook at Another Serious Airsoft Podcast. God, this is the most fucking questions we've ever answered at the end of a podcast.
I know.
Holy shit.
It's also the most shout-outy podcast we've ever done.
I know, so many products.
This is literally the most shout-out. I don't know like how it happened, because like normally we're kind of the guy who's like, yeah, we don't shout anybody out, but like this is all just shit we actually genuinely like, which is why we're shouting.
There are plenty of products on the airsoft market that we fucking love, and I have no problem actually reviewing them and shilling for them.
So CPS, you're a 4-year H width and fit Ultima OTBs, but the thing is, I have 14 wide because I bought the wide size Ultima OTB in multicam black, and the 14 wide just fits me perfectly. The problem is, I know that the 14 not wide would be like that little bit narrower that wouldn't fit for me. Because like
gotta start binding your feet like Japanese women in the early 1900s, Eric.
Yeah, like I already own a pair of OTBs. I own the 14 wide. The problem is the Tiger Stripe ones from Tactical Distributors don't have the wide option, and I don't think the regular OTB would fit my foot.
Yeah,
I
probably
don't think
not.
so, man.
The
they
wides
fit my
are just
foot pretty
barely
snug.
fitting you.
Yeah. Holy shit, Eric, you got some big ass feet. Anyway, other than that,
well, I can't go a size up CPS. I wear a 14. They don't make them bigger than 14.
Yeah, exactly.
14's are already freaking huge, man.
He's got fucking Shaq feet over here, Jesus.
Yeah, need custom sized shoes at that point.
Mike Ochoa asks, can we slaughter furries in Japan for sport? No, we can't do that, Mike. I'm not going to. Mike Capucci asks, why PP small? Because you don't shower, Mike. I love you, but Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Gross, man.
Yeah, anyway. Any good resources for finding good Milsim events? Our YouTube channel. There's some great ones. Milsim West Discord, Milsim West Facebook group.
The good resource for finding good Milsim events is milsimwest.com.
Yeah, exactly. They do good stuff. American Milsim does good stuff. I've heard good things about Third Coast Airsoft. The guys who are Desert Fox events, Halcyon Tactical.
No, Desert Fox.
If you want to go to an airsoft event and you're looking for good ones, Omega, AMS, Milsim West, Desert Fox events, Third Coast Airsoft, and Halcyon Tactical, who hosted the Operation Maelstrom.
Yeah, they hosted Maelstrom, and it was fucking awesome.
If you're in New York, go to Hunters Creek for those events. If Eric hosts an event, go to that as well. Anyway.
I used to say Lion Claws, but then they mistakenly said that my boy Cisco died, so...
Yeah. I never said Lion Claws.
Not very happy about that.
I never said Lion Claws, because I'm pretty sure John Lou blocked me on Facebook.
I used to say Lion Claws.
Listen, Cisco is very much alive.
Yeah, Cisco is alive. And I want everyone to know that he's alive.
Yeah, but good resources, good events. Pretty much Omega Productions, Milsim West, Desert Fox events, American Milsim, Third Coast Airsoft, Halcyon Tactical,
anything from Ballhack.
Plus anything from regional event promoters that we haven't been to.
Regional event promoters we haven't been to, Halcyon Tactical. That's about it. Anyway, we're gonna cut in on ASAP's shit. So, GunGamers Podcast, episode 25, with me and the boys. Go watch
ASAP, another serious Airsoft podcast on Facebook.
Go watch ASAP, they do great stuff. Anyway, this has been episode 25, and it's been real, y'all. Take it easy.
Peace.
Later, y'all.
All right, let's just get to the end screen and play the motherfucking music.
Play the funky